The injury report that every Alabama fan has been waiting for is finally here, and what we've discovered could completely change how we approach the biggest game of the season. Alabama faithful. What I'm about to share with you right now is absolutely game-changing information that just dropped, and I guarantee you haven't heard this anywhere else yet. If you bleed crimson and white, you cannot afford to miss a single word of what's coming next. Before we dive deep into this explosive news, make sure you smash that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because this channel is your ultimate source for Alabama football insider information that you simply won't find anywhere else. We're the first to break the biggest stories, the first to analyze what it all means for our Tide, and the first to give you the insights that matter most when it comes to Alabama football dominance. The SEC has just officially released the injury report for what promises to be the most explosive, most anticipated, most crucial matchup of the entire college football season, the epic showdown between the Georgia Bulldogs and our beloved Alabama Crimson Tide. This isn't just another game on the schedule, folks. This is Alabama versus Georgia, and when these two powerhouses collide, the entire college football landscape shifts. We're talking about the 75th all-time meeting between these two legendary programs, two teams that have defined SEC excellence for decades, two teams that know how to deliver absolute classics when they step onto the field together. Here's what makes this even more special and significant, our Crimson. Tide is returning to Sanford Stadium for the first time in over a decade. That's right, more than 10 long years since Alabama has played in Athens, Georgia. Think about that for a moment. An entire generation of Alabama players has never experienced the hostile environment of Sanford Stadium. They've never felt the pressure of 92,746 screaming Georgia fans trying to intimidate them. They've never had to execute our game plan in one of the most challenging road environments in all of college football. But here's the beautiful part. Here's what should give every Alabama fan confidence going into this battle. Our Tide has been absolutely dominating this rivalry. We've won 9 of the last 10 games against the Bulldogs, 9 out of 10 victories. That's not luck. That's not coincidence. That's Alabama football superiority at its finest. Do you remember last year's absolutely incredible game in Tuscaloosa? That 41-34 thriller that had every single person watching on the absolute edge of their seats, hearts pounding, voices hoarse from screaming. What an absolute masterpiece of college football that was, showcasing exactly why Alabama versus Georgia is appointment television for every college football fan in America. Now the Bulldogs want revenge, and they're getting their chance at home in Athens, where they've built quite the impressive streak of more than 30 consecutive victories. 30 straight wins at home. That's an intimidating number. That's a streak that represents years of dominance on their home turf. But let me ask you something, Tide Nation. Do you think that scares our Alabama Crimson Tide? Do you think Nick Saban's team is intimidated by a home-winning streak? Of course not. This is Alabama football we're talking about. This is a program built on going into hostile environments and silencing crowds. This is a team that thrives when the odds are stacked against them. Both teams are coming off bye weeks, which means they've had precious time to rest, recover injured players, and prepare extensively for this battle that promises to be absolutely fierce and unforgettable. The timing couldn't be more perfect for both programs to be at their absolute best, and that's exactly where the critical importance of this official injury report comes into play. When you're talking about a matchup of this magnitude, when Alabama and Georgia step onto the same field, every single detail makes a monumental difference in determining the outcome. Everyone who understands football at the highest level knows that injuries can completely define the course of a game of this caliber. When you have two elite programs like Alabama and Georgia preparing to go to war, a key player being unavailable can completely alter the strategy, can force coaches to completely redesign their game plan, can shift the entire momentum and approach that each team takes into this crucial battle. The timing of this report couldn't be more significant because we're talking about two teams that aren't just fighting for bragging rights or SEC supremacy. They're fighting for positioning in the college football playoff race. Every single game counts in today's college football landscape, but this particular matchup, this specific battle between Alabama and Georgia, carries extra weight and significance. The winner gains crucial momentum, valuable confidence, and positions themselves perfectly for the remainder of the season. The loser faces questions, faces adversity, faces the challenge of bouncing back from a devastating defeat against an elite opponent. The SEC's official injury report brings us the most reliable, most accurate information available about player availability, giving us crucial insight into who's questionable, who's doubtful, and who's definitely not going to be able to contribute on game day. This isn't speculation, this isn't rumor, this isn't guesswork. This is official information directly from the conference that allows us to understand exactly what each team will look like when they take the field. For Alabama, this information is absolutely fundamental to understanding our chances and our approach. We need to know with certainty whether our main players, our stars, our difference makers are going to be 100% healthy and ready for this monumental matchup. We're talking about facing a Georgia defense that's built its reputation on being absolutely relentless, on being physical, on making life miserable for opposing offenses. Every single Alabama player who steps onto that field needs to be at their absolute best, needs to be completely healthy, needs to be ready to execute at the highest possible level. But this isn't just about identifying who might be injured or limited for Alabama. This is about understanding matchups, about analyzing how Nick Saban is going to adjust our team's strategy based on who's available and who might be compromised. This is about identifying potential opportunities to exploit if there are key absences on Georgia's side of the ball. Smart coaches use injury information to gain every possible advantage, and Nick Saban is the smartest coach in college football. This injury report was scheduled to be released at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, and let me tell you, the anticipation and anxiety among Alabama fans was absolutely through the roof. Everyone desperately wanting to know who's going to be able to play, who's going to be sitting out, what surprises might be revealed that could impact this massive game. The level of interest, the level of concern, the level of excitement surrounding this. Information shows you exactly how important this matchup truly is. You have to remember and understand that this is the kind of game that defines entire seasons for both programs. Alabama and Georgia always, without exception, deliver absolute classics when they face each other. It's tradition, it's rivalry, it's SEC football operating at its absolute highest level. These two teams bring out the best in each other, push each other to perform at levels that create unforgettable moments and legendary games that fans talk about for decades. The scenario for this particular meeting couldn't be more dramatic or compelling. Alabama traveling to Athens, entering hostile territory, preparing to face a Georgia team that hasn't lost at home in over 30 games. The atmosphere will be electric, the pressure will be immense, the stakes will be sky high. But if there's any team in college football capable of walking into that environment and breaking that impressive home winning streak, if there's any program with the experience and mental toughness to handle that kind of pressure, that team is absolutely the Alabama Crimson Tide. The preparation during the bye week was absolutely crucial for both programs. Both teams had valuable time to study their opponent in minute detail, to adjust tactics and strategies, to ensure that injured players had the maximum possible time to recover and get back to full strength. Bye weeks before huge games like this are gifts that allow coaching staffs to leave no stone unturned in their preparation. Now, with this official injury report finally in hand, the coaches can make their final adjustments and decisions. They can definitively decide who's going to start, who's going to be held back or used sparingly, who's going to have to step up and give extra effort to compensate for possible absences of key players. These are the kinds of strategic decisions that can make or break a team's chances in a game of this magnitude. This is Alabama football at its core, folks. This is what our program has always been about. Overcoming adversity, rising to meet challenges, being ready for battle no matter what obstacles are placed in our path. No matter who's on the field, no matter who might be limited or unavailable, Roll Tide always finds a way to compete at the highest level. That's the Alabama standard. That's the Alabama way, and that's exactly what we'll see in Athens. You know that when Alabama and Georgia face off, the entire country stops what they're doing to watch. Sports bars fill up. Living rooms become command centers. College football fans everywhere tune in because they know they're about to witness something special. It's one of the biggest, most anticipated classics in all of college football, and this year's edition promises to be no different from the legendary battles we've seen between these programs in the past. The last time Alabama played at Sanford Stadium was over a decade ago, which means an entirely new generation of Alabama players is going to experience this unique atmosphere for the very first time. Imagine the pressure they'll feel. Imagine the intensity of that environment. Imagine what it's like to try to execute your assignments while 92,000-plus Georgia fans are doing everything possible to disrupt your concentration and your communication. But that's exactly what our Alabama players are recruited for. That's exactly why they chose to wear the crimson and white jersey. For games like this, for moments like this when the lights are brightest, when the pressure is at its absolute maximum, when the whole world is watching to see who has what it takes to perform on the biggest stage. Alabama players don't shrink from these moments. They embrace them. They thrive in them. They use them to elevate their performance to legendary levels. This official injury report represents just the beginning of the final preparation phase for this monumental battle. Now it's time for both teams to focus completely, to study every single detail about their opponent, to be ready mentally and physically for a war that will test every aspect of their preparation and their character. The information in this report will influence game plans, will affect personnel decisions, will impact how both coaching staffs approach this crucial matchup. And Alabama fans, you need to be ready too. This is our moment to show our unwavering support, to make our voices heard even though we're playing in hostile territory. Crimson Tide Nation is strong everywhere we go, and our team needs to feel that support and that energy even when they're surrounded by Georgia fans. Our players need to know that Alabama faithful are watching, are believing, are supporting them every step of the way. In my opinion, this injury report is absolutely crucial to understanding how this entire game is going to unfold and develop. Depending on who might be unavailable or playing at less than full strength, we could see completely different strategies implemented on both sides of the ball. Alabama has consistently shown impressive depth throughout our roster, but against an elite team like Georgia, we absolutely need all our best players available and healthy if we want to maximize our chances of victory. I believe that even if we do have some key losses or limitations revealed in this report, our team has exactly what it takes to travel to Athens and make history by ending Georgia's home winning streak. Nick Saban has proven time and time again throughout his legendary career that he knows exactly how to prepare teams for massive games like this one. He understands the pressure, he understands the stakes, and he knows how to get his players ready to perform when everything is on the line. So, Crimson Tide fans, I want to know exactly what you're thinking about all of this. How do you believe this injury report is going to impact the way this game plays out? Do you have confidence that Alabama can walk into Sanford Stadium and break the Bulldogs' home invincibility? Which specific players do you think are absolutely essential to have at 100% health for this crucial battle? Leave all your thoughts, predictions, and opinions in the comments section below, because I want to know what Tide Nation is thinking about this epic matchup that's rapidly approaching. And remember, if you want to stay ahead of every breaking story, every injury update, every piece of insider information about Alabama football, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss the content that matters most to Crimson Tide fans everywhere. Roll Tide!